Hey everyone, and welcome back to our tutorial series on how to create tools using AI. In the first two sessions, we looked at how to set up Claude projects. We set up one for my real client who's trying to rebuild his application for hairdressers. And we were able to, in the second session, build already our first bit of content, so an HTML pitch deck that looked really nice for him going to investors. And in this episode, we're going to build our first proper tool. So our first tool that uses AI to actually solve a problem that a lot of people have in their work, and not just developers and not just hairdressers, obviously. Something more close to what I deal with in the events industry, which is people comparing data in Excel or CSV and consolidating data across multiple sources. So my pitch for ChatGPT, luckily not, for Claude was to build a front-end simple application that would allow me to compare two CSV files from employees in a hairdressing salon. So let's say I'm a manager at a hairdressing salon. My employees are responsible for buying, let's say, equipment or like coffee capsules, for example, whenever we run out. And whoever buys them has to note it down in an Excel sheet. And then every month I consolidate the Excel sheets to see how much was spent in total on coffee capsules. And so I have 3-4 employees. I need to consolidate across each one of them, whoever bought coffee capsules, or who maybe there's one of them who didn't buy any because it wasn't their turn, et cetera, et cetera. So the problem is that one person might write down coffee capsules in the title of whatever it was they're purchasing. They might have different column structure, one to the other. They don't respect the template that I made for them. One of them calls it coffee capsules, the other one calls it espresso capsules. So they're the same thing semantically, but we're not going to be able to build an application that can do that kind of comparison and really be sure that if one person, says it in English and the other person says it in French, that it's actually going to work. So that I wanted to build something where we actually use AI. So I asked it to use an Anthropic API key. Anthropic is the company that makes Claude. And API key means a secret password that you'll get when you sign up to platform.claude.com. You get into this kind of workbench place. And the very first screen will tell you get API key. So you don't need to be a techie to know this stuff. Just go get API key. And I'll show you afterwards. We're going to create a key and put it into our application. It gives this application a way to, like a password to access Claude, essentially, but through your application and not through the chat. Because I see so many people getting stuck in projects and stuck in the chats when they could just ask Claude to quickly produce an external thing that you can run locally on your computer, so it's perfectly safe, that would be able to call Claude and get it to do stuff from your computer without having to be in the Claude chat all the time. So I had to fight with Claude a bit, which is a good opportunity to show some of Claude's weaknesses. So first of all, it said it was making the tool, did all sorts of analysis, and then it outputted this explanation where it said, now you just have to do this, do this, do this, and nothing came out. So I said, where is it? It said, oh, it's rendered as an interactive widget. If your Claude ever says this, tell it immediately you're not allowed to do that anymore. Claude added a feature in a recent update where when you ask it to make things, sometimes it makes them directly in the chat and not as an artifact. Artifacts are the way to go. Forget, it's just it has absolutely no functional advantage. It's just a silly, fancy thing that Claude did. You have to avoid silly, fancy things like that. Just stick with the basic artifacts. That's where all the functionality is that we need to do what we're trying to do. So I said, commit it to memory as well, because remember, Claude has memory and you can ask it to remember things about the way that you like to do things. So I asked it to commit it to memory and make the artifact, which it did. And it made me this little HTML file. And so we can see the example of that. A charge consolidation engine. Now I don't want to use it in here. For testing it, I want to test it on my own computer. I generally don't like testing things directly in this Claude sandbox artifact window, because you will run into problems potentially that are just because it's in Claude, and the error would not happen if you downloaded it yourself. So as we did last time, click on it, click download. It'll pull it onto your local computer in your downloads folder, open it up. whatever the .html file is. If it's created you something where it says .jsx or some other extension like that, you won't be able to open it on your computer. So if that happens, you might want to go back to what we did before with Netlify. No, not Netflix. Netlify. There it is. And drag and drop whatever the file is. If it's .jsx, for example, not HTML, drag and drop it into your Netlify, as we did last time, and let it publish the application for you, and then just use it online. It's still safe. It's within Netlify. It's not public. I mean, it's public. It's a public URL, but it's as long as you don't share the URL with anyone, it's going to be safe. And when you add the API key, it's not going to go to Netlify. The Claude API key will stay within your browser session. So again, it's still safe. Anywho, so we're going to open it up because it's HTML. Luckily, we're going to open it up directly in the browser. Close that. And here we go. So it asked me to add my Anthropic API key. Sorry, it's all in French. I'll translate it. It's asking me to add my API key. So I go to my Claude console. This is platform.claude.com. If you're in claude.com, it might not work. Platform.claude.com is where you get your API keys. Create key, we're going to call it delete immediately because I'm going to show you the key. So of course I have to delete it immediately before anyone uses it. So that gives you this key. You would not share this with anyone because it is like sharing a password. It's if someone used what you see on screen here, they would be able to have a password into my Claude, which has my credit card in there. So that's not a good idea. So just trying to give this little tips on being safe. We go back to the file that we opened. So you can see this is local. Yeah, this is in my downloads folder. It's not on the internet. So I can safely paste this in here. It asked me to put in 2 CSV files that I want to compare. So to test it, I asked Claude to make me some CSV files. So these 2 here from Marie and Sophie. That's the easiest way to test. Just get Claude to make the data for you. Why would you bother taking your own files that could potentially, you know, if something goes wrong, maybe it's going to corrupt them or something like that. Just get Claude to make you a couple of files that you can test. So there, I've downloaded those 2 CSVs. It says I can drag and drop them. So let's do that. At any point, I'm hoping something does go wrong. I don't know if it will, but let's see. If at any point something goes wrong, yes, it did. Oh, good. You go, I'm using Google Chrome. You go into Google, if you're using Firefox, whatever, there's a way to do it in there, but I would recommend just using Chrome. It's going to be easier to follow my tutorials. Go to View, Developer, JavaScript Console. You don't need to know what it is. Just need to go there. It's where Claude's going to get the data to help you fix the problem. JavaScript Console. Here we go. All of this stuff, don't need to know what it is. If it's red, Claude wants to know about it. Just drag and copy the whole thing. Just do the whole thing. Copy that out. Copy console, just copy the whole darn thing. Go back into Claude and say, try to run it locally, added the 2 CSVs and a valid API key, start this. Is that right? Yeah, that's the stuff in it. Paste it, let it run. So this is the JavaScript console is just anything that goes wrong with the application, it's going to appear here. Claude has its own one, but I don't really trust it, and it's way better to do it just from your own browser. If you want to get rid of this, just click on the X here, it'll disappear. Job done. Now that API key that I pasted. Oh, okay. So this is a contentious point, but I pasted my API key in here. It's been encrypted, so I can't copy it out anymore. And I didn't save it anywhere. So that means that I have to make a new one now, basically. So I'm going to delete this one, which you can do if you're ever worried about there's something, maybe someone's using your API key or something like that. Like if you've accidentally put it on the screen somewhere in a screen share, then just delete it, start again. You can just you can have as many passwords as you want. It's no big deal. Let's see what Claude has done. The Anthropic API blocks direct browser requests. I don't care what it is. Run it. Oh, goodness. Okay, I have to do stuff. I don't want to do stuff. Oh, my goodness. I have to. Really? All right, let's just do it. So let's say you're in this situation. You don't have me harping on at you how to do it. Oh, goodness. I know what we're going to do. I know what we're going to do. Forget that. So essentially what it's saying is Anthropic blocks direct browser requests. That means that me trying to use it in the browser has not worked. So I'm going to go to Netlify, our good friends over at Netlify, who do not sponsor these tutorials. They really don't. Not yet. So we go into Netlify like we did last time. We are going to make a new API key while we wait. Everything is slow. Okay, so we just drag it in here, take our downloaded HTML file, consolidation charges, drop it in here. Please don't refresh. I won't. So let's, with an instance, another page now. Yeah. Oh, sorry. This I said last time I shouldn't have renamed. I should rename. It has to be index.html. So yeah, just listen to the guide. Don't listen to me. Listen to what's on the screen. So we've got our key. We say ready to make it delete immediately too. Oh, I didn't select a workspace. Genius. Add, there's the key. So we've got our site. So there we go. It's on Netlify. It's hosted. So not locally on my computer, but still not dangerous. If I put this key in here, there's no, yeah, trust is fine. There's no website thing that's going to send it through to Netlify or something like that. Netlify delivers the web page to me from where I stored it in Netlify. And then what happens here on my browser is what happens in my browser, stays in my browser. So you're not risking sending any data to Netlify or something like that. We're going to put our two CSVs in there. And then we're going to compare them. And it still did the same thing. So we go back to our developer JavaScript tools. We take whatever this is. Oh, I know what it is. So it's going to block it because, and even if I do it from here, it's directly using the API in the browser and it doesn't like it. So crumbs, I actually do have to do what it said I had to do. So it's asked me to download something. I'm opening it. If you are a lucky Mac user like me, then go into those files. We're going to go, so it's asking me to run a command in the terminal. As soon as it says bash, it means you have to run this in your terminal. If you're on Windows, a sort of an idea of what you're supposed to do, I think is called PowerShell. So open your PowerShell, get it to open at the point where this little file is that it's telling me to run. So we're getting a little bit more advanced here, but come on, for the payoff, it's worth it. I can just go, where's the thing I can do? Oh, I know. Hold on. What was it? Back. Okay. This one. Yes. So if it's on a folder, new terminal, a folder. And on Mac, that's going to open up a little thing called terminal where you can run commands. And it looks maybe like the Matrix and a bit scary, but don't worry. You just have to copy what's here. Anything it said to do, copy it. Wait for this thing to load up because my computer's going slow. We're going to paste it in here for it to run something on your computer that will send the request to Anthropic in the right direction so that it doesn't get blocked, which it did last time. So on Windows, this would be in PowerShell, and you might have to ask Claude to give you a command that will take PowerShell into the folder where your little file is that you have to run, because I don't think they have a quick command like they have on Mac to open something directly in PowerShell. Here we go, finally, geez. All right, so we paste in what we took from Claude, hit return, let it do its magic. it may come up with some error. It may say you don't have blah blah thing on your computer. Whatever it comes up with, copy it, paste it back into Claude. Claude will say, oh, you don't have blah blah thing, no problem. Here's another command to run. Just keep going back and forth until it finally does the magic and runs whatever it is that needs to run to make this work. So I guess we can delete that project while we're here. Take that offline. Okay, so this little terminal thing is now saying it's running, which is what Claude told us would happen. Said that you'll have something running on localhost port 8787, which you, again, don't need to know what it means, but this is correct then, 8787. Good, which means then if I run my consolidation charges thing from the same folder, oops, not that one. I have lost my API key, haven't I? Yes. Oh, no, there it is. Whew. Put that in there. Drag in my CSV files. And it's not saying no. Oh, the little terminal's doing things. Oh, look at that. So Sophie says loyer, which is rent. Marie says loyer. So they were paying for rent, which is a bit of a silly thing to put on an expense report, but it's an example. Here's a perfect example of something that's in lowercase, something that's in uppercase. It was able to correspond them. So whenever it's sure, it's like checking it automatically for me, but I could also uncheck it. If it's two different things, then it's going to leave them as two different things. So these ones, you know, professional shampoo or just pro shampoo. So it's done some really good jobs here. Yeah, paper and office stuff, office supplies, the same sort of thing. So, you know, you decide, doesn't have any correspondence. Yeah, so these are ones that only Sophie put these, only Marie put these, and then let's say they're all great. I agree with all of them except maybe, yeah, I don't agree that paper and office supplies are the same thing necessarily. So we'll leave that like that. Alrighty, and we generate the thing and we open the thing and ooh, so there we go. So it's done me a nice little template based on probably my template that I gave them that they ignored. And it's even given me details. So it says that this is how much I spent on rent, and it breaks it down for me by putting in the two values in there. That is awesome. So cool. And that's running locally. So we didn't have to do anything with Netlify. It's all running locally. It even tells me the total here. It's so cute. And I can do a new analysis. So you have to put in the key every time. It's a bit annoying. You might want to talk to Claude about that, but that's already pretty cool. And yeah, we had to go down the road of getting a bit techie. So I'm sorry about that. We had to type in something that, you know, I typed it in, it worked great. You type it in, it's probably going to say that you don't have something on your computer that you need to download. So you might have 2 or 3 extra messages with Claude to get your environment set up on the computer to be able to do this. But you can see that it was kind of worth it. Like, okay, it took us an extra 10 minutes, but it was worth it in the end because now we have a safe way to get our call to Anthropic to compare those two Excel sheets. And we probably used up like 0.001 cents. Let's see if we have any billing information. No, do I have like a usage or something? Limits, API keys. Yeah. If I figure out how much it costs, I'll let you know. Oh, here. Analytics, maybe. Usage. You might not update that quickly. Yeah, probably not. Oh, there. There we go. 2,000 tokens in Haiku. This is nothing. It's like a couple of dollars per million tokens. So I've probably spent $0.00001. So even the cost is like massively manageable. If you just top this up with $10 to get started with, you're going to go a very, very long way. So I hope that was longer, but useful in seeing a little bit of a baptism of fire of the first kind of real tool we can make where AI automation can actually help you. So I'll leave it there, and let's pick up the next time with another interesting tool.